Shalom to the elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming into another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. And this is a lesson about the 501c3 charter tax exempt organizations. Okay? This is an article. The government owns and runs your church and its doctrines. The 501c3 tax exempt organizations. Okay, a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people do. Right, but just for edification, I'm going to bring it out. So Lord willing, be edifying. Because this is the problem with all the churches that's in North America, Babylon the Great, and a lot of these camps also have this tax exempt. Okay? So it starts off and reads. I'm gonna read this, some of this, and I'm gonna show you what they can and what they can't teach in the churches, and we're gonna get some precepts. So it reads, much churches in America have organized as 501c3 tax exempt religious organizations. This is a fairly recent trend that has only been going on for about 50 years. Churches were only added to Section 501c3 of the tax code in 1954. We can thank Senator Lyndon B. Johnson for that. Johnson was no ally of the church. As part of his political agenda, Johnson had it in mind to silence the church and eliminate the significant influence the church had always had on shaping public policy. Although Johnson preferred this as a favor to churches, the favor also came with strings attached, more like shackles. One need not look far to see the devastation effects 501c3 charter acceptance has had to the church and the consequent restrictions placed upon any 501c3 church. 501c3 churches are prohibited from addressing in any tangible way the vital issues of the day. Meaning anything that go on, you can't speak about it. For the 501c3 church to openly speak out or organize any opposition to anything that the government declares legal, even if it is immoral. It's say abortions, homosexual, same-sex marriages, etc. That churches will jeopardize its tax-exempt status. The 501c3 has had a chilling effect upon the free speech rights of the church. Lyndon B. Johnson was a shrewd and cunning politician who seemed to well appreciate how easily many of the clergy would sell out, and that's what they doing. Okay, a lot of these camps and all these churches got this, man. They done sold out. Before we go any further with this issue, it is important to view the big picture. Without the larger view, there will only be confusion. Reading on. It was not just President Lyndon B. Johnson who wanted to eliminate the church's impact on society. Lyndon B. Johnson was Jewish, something few people knew then or know now. He was a crypto Jew, meaning a Jew who masqueraded as a Gentile, allowing him to accomplish the Jewish agenda without being detected. The Jewish cabal, known as the New World Order, Illuminati, Zionist, Communist, One World Government, has as its goal the following: the elimination of all religions and all governments. LBJ, as an international Jew and traitor to America and to his office as president, was just furthering the progress toward these sinister goals. Did the church ever need to seek permission from the government to be exempt from taxes? Were churches prior to 1954 taxable? No. Churches have never been taxable. To be taxable, a church would first need to be under the jurisdiction and therefore under the taxing authority of the government. The First Amendment clearly places the church outside the jurisdiction of civil government. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishing of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Religion cannot be free if you have to pay the government through taxation to exercise it. Since churches aren't taxable in the first place, why do so many of them go to the IRS and seek permission to be tax exempt? It occurs out of ignorance. We didn't know any better. It's a bandwagon logic. Everyone else is doing it. Or professional advice many attorneys and CPAs recommend it. So it say, does the law require or even encourage a church to organize as a 501c3? To answer the question, let's turn to what the IRS itself has to say. Churches need not apply. In order to be considered for tax exempt status by IRS or organization, must fill out and submit IRS Form 1023 and 1024. However, note what the IRS said regarding churches and church ministers in publication 557. Some organizations are not required to file Form 1023. These include churches, interchurch organizations, or of local units of a church, conventions or associates of churches, or integrated auxiliaries of a church, such as a men's or women's organization, religious schools, minister society, or youth groups. These organizations are exempt automatically if they meet the requirements of Section 501c3. Churches are automatically tax exempt according to the IRS Code 508 C1A. Special rules with respect to Section 501c3 organizations. New organizations must notify Secretary that they are applying for recognition of Section 105c3 status. Exemption. Mandatory exemption is a subsection A and B shall not apply to churches. There are integrated auxiliaries and conventions or associations of churches. This is referred to as mandatory exempt rule. Thus, we see from the IRS own publication and the tax code that it is completely unnecessary for any church to apply for tax exempt status. In the IRS own words, a church is automatically tax exempt. So it tell you that churches have a mandatory exemption to filing tax returns, right? So just want to get you to the point. Now it say when a church accepts the 501c3 status, that church waivers its freedom of speech, waivers its freedom of religion, waivers its right to influence legislations and legislators and legislations they craft, waivers its constitutional guaranteed rights. It is no longer free to speak to the vital issues of the day, which we always go into on everything that's going on around the world, right? All that's part of prophecy. Is no longer free to speak of vital issues of the day, becomes controlled by a spirit of fear that if it doesn't toe the line with the IRS, it will lose its tax exempt status, which these pastors and preachers are not trying to lose. So they do not teach what they're supposed to, becomes a state church. Okay? So it tell you, when you read down, say that how the IRS controls Christian churches. Now, it says according to the IRS 501c3, Christian churches, ministers, and organizations may not do the following: expose conspiracies, criticize the New World Order, say or publish anything negative about any politician, Republican or Democrat. Criticizes government agencies and bureaus, the IRS, the FBI, the BATF, the CIA, the EPA, the DEA, the OSHA, DOJ, etc. Criticize an institution of government such as the White House, the Congress, the Federal Reserve Board, even though this is a private corporation or a Supreme Court. Encourages citizens to call or write their congressman, senator, governor, mayor, or other public official. Criticize any proposed or pending bill or legislation that would take away the rights and freedoms of the people. Make disparaging remarks about or criticize any other faith group, cult, or religion. Expose or criticize the New Age movement. Support or encourage a law-abiding citizens militia, even though this is constitutional. Support or encourage the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Discourage young women from getting an abortion or endorse the pro-life movement. Teach that abortion, especially partial birth abortion, is murder and is killing of innocent babies. Identify homosexual as a sin and an abomination to God. Express an opinion on any subject or issue. Appeal to people emotions by employing an evangelization methods such as fire and brimstone preaching, not considered a reasoned approach by the IRS. And we teach fire and brimstone teaching because the Lord say, warn the people that destruction is coming. Okay, ultimately the missiles, right? Discuss or identify threats to Christianity. Discuss subjects or topics the IRS deems sensationalist. Criticize well-known public figures or institutions the IRS deems worthy, such as the super rich elite, international bankers, the Hollywood movie industry, etc. Publish or broadcast information on any topic without giving credence to the opposing viewpoints of Christ's enemies. That's crazy. Publish and offer books, tapes, or products that expose the elitist plot against humanity and God. Criticize the Pope or the Vatican, or contrast the New Catholic cataclysms with the truth found in the Holy Bible. Okay, it say no, only liberal churches are permitted by the IRS to criticize the Catholic Church. Criticize the United Nations or such globalist groups as the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, and the Trilateral Commission. Criticize the Masonic Lodge, the Order of Skull and Bones, or other secret societies. Highlights or otherwise bring attention to immorality of public officials or corruption in government. So, and it goes on and on, man. Okay? Expose false teachings of any kind by anyone. Okay? Support homeschooling, home churches, or unregistered churches. All these things, man. Oh, criticize the Jewish ADL or other Jewish lobby groups. And it's a long list, man. Okay? It's a long list of these things in the 501c3 charter that you can't do, man. You can't speak about, okay? Such as fire and brimstone teaching. Now, I'm finna get these precepts because Esau Edom had deceived our people into taking these things, man. Okay? This is Exodus 23 and 32, and it reads, "Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods." Okay? The Lord say, don't make no covenant with them, man. Okay? This is Jeremiah chapter 10 and 2. And it reads, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the words which the Lord Yahweh speak unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay? Learn not the way of the heathen. Don't do it. Back in Exodus 23 and 32. Again, the Lord saying, Jeremiah 10 and 2, learn not the way of the heathen. Exodus 23 and 32, thou shalt not make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. Okay? And what did Jake do? Made a covenant, okay, with the heathen, man. Now, when you go to Isaiah 28, it says this. Isaiah 28 and 14, and it reads, wherefore hear the word of the Lord, Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people. Talking about these pastors, these wicked Jake pastors, right? It say, ye scornful men that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem, right? Talking about these bug-out TD snakes and all these other Israelite ministers, okay, false pastors. It said, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death and with hell. Now, to tell you in the scripture, to tell you in Habakkuk 2, that the Edomites are as death and hell, right? So this talking about the Edomites. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death and with hell, are we at agreement, okay? When the overflowing scourges shall pass through, it shall not come into us. So because they have made a covenant with the Edomites, these ones that took hold of this 501c3 charter, they saying it ain't gonna come near them, right? The destruction, right? So it say, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. The falsehood of the Edomites, right? And they 501c3 charter, they agreement, they organizations, right? Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. And it's talking about Yahweh, right? Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hidden places, right? The destruction of the Lord, man. This real truth going to go out. Okay, truth going to go out, and you're going to know that you are following a 501c3 charter church, and you are going to be destroyed for following these wicked pastors and them following the ways of Esau, Edom, being under their contract, man. Because the Lord said, make no covenant with them. Okay. Verse 18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Who shall be trodden down by it? 2/3 of Israel and these false pastors. Okay? By the covenant that you made with Esau, Edom. Okay? In their contract, they 501c3 charter. The Lord said you're going to be destroyed for that, man. Now, this is Deuteronomy. Because the Lord said we was going to go into Egypt again with ships, right? And there we was going to serve other gods, even wood and stone, right? So this is Deuteronomy 29 and verse 16. And it reads, For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by, and ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Okay? Which were among them, right? Lest there should be any among you, man or woman, or family or tribe, whose heart turn away this day from the Lord Yahweh our power, to go and serve the gods of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood, and it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. The Lord Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord Yahweh and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and the Lord Yahweh shall blot out his name from under heaven. And the Lord Yahweh shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. Okay? So this is talking to you Hebrew Israelites, man. You done made a covenant with Esau, Edom, and you're going to be destroyed for it. Simple. Okay? Plain. Straight to the point. Now this is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 22. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20. Because what you don't understand is the Lord ain't dealing with them temples, man. Matter of fact, let me read Acts 7:48. This is Acts chapter 7, verse 48. And it reads, Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Okay? Again, Acts 7:48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Because when you read first Corinthians 3:16 and 17, that our body is the temple of the Lord, man. Okay? Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. So when you go to Isaiah 30 and 20, this is what it reads. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, it say, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers well in the highways and byways. And thy ear shall hear a word behind thee. When you walk past the camps, you're going to hear that word behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left. Okay? So when you walk past the camp, whether you're walking from the right side or the left side, you're going to hear that word. And you always hear the word. What they do, they keep walking though. But the point is, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. If you in the highways and byways, you can't see your teacher if he at a church. Okay? He said that your teacher should not be removed into a corner no more. What's these churches? That's your pastor box in the corner, man. Okay? That's why it said in Ezekiel 13 and 5 that these pastors not going up into the gaps, meaning the highways and byways, teaching the truth. Okay? The Lord ain't in them churches. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 7. And this is proved. This finna prove that, man. Jeremiah 5 and 7. And it reads, how shall I pardon thee for this? Pardon 2/3 Israel for what? For making a covenant with the heathen, right? For making a covenant with the heathen by accepting the 501c3 charter, okay? By learning the ways of the heathen. The Lord said, how shall I pardon you for this? Right? Trusting in the government, becoming part of their society, their way of life, okay? Their religion. This is Jeremiah 5 and 7. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods when I have fed them to the full. Meaning what? When he gave you the truth, man. He gave you the real doctrine, man. Sound doctrine. Okay? They then committed adultery. What adultery? You committed spiritual adultery by worshiping other gods, man. Hey, Yahweh said he was going to send us into a land that we knew not, nor our fathers, and that we shall serve other gods, even wood and stone, man. Okay? And I read to you in Deuteronomy 29 and 16 that when we walk past all the other nations and they worship idols of silver and gold, man, wood and stone. And you people don't understand you are being deceived by this Jesus Christos character, man, which goes back to Serapis Christus, man. Okay? This guy Ptolemy Soter set his son up to be Serapis Christus. In modern term, is Jesus Christ, man. And you people are worshiping idols, silver and gold, wood and stone, man. Y'all people worship the cross, man. That's wicked. Okay, the Lord said don't do no idol worshiping, man. So again, Jeremiah 5 and 7, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children forsake me and sworn by them that are no gods. Jesus Christ is not a God, man. He's a man that lived on the 1400s. When I had fed them to the full, gave you the whole truth, man. Okay? Brought you out of Egypt, man. Gave you all the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, okay? Made a covenant with you, man. He fed you to the full on all levels. Then they committed adultery, spiritual adultery, man, worshiping other gods. And he say, and they assembled themselves, and you assembled yourselves by troops in the harlot houses. Why would he say by troops? Because when you go to these churches on Sunday, they pack, man. Or when you go in there on revival night, Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, they pack, man. Okay? Or you got churches that go to church on Sunday. These people, they packed. So he say, and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. What do he call them, harlot houses? Okay? Ain't nothing but a bunch of wickedness going on in them churches, man. The pastors having sex with the women in the church. Okay, it's a dress. It's all about who got the baddest outfit on in there. Okay, it's mostly women in there, and everybody having sex with everybody in there, man. It's a harlot house, man. A bunch of wickedness going on in them churches, man. Okay. He said, "You assemble yourselves." They assemble themselves by troops in the harlot houses. Now, when you go to Isaiah 5 and 11. He give you a straight, clear cut, man. This is Isaiah chapter 5, verse 11. And it reads, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, right? You rise up when? Early on Sunday morning to do what? Go to the harlot house, man. Okay? And then, on the other hand, you got Jake, these wicked pastors that get up early in the morning and go to these theological seminaries and learn what? This false religion from the so-called white man, okay? So this represents, it's a twofold, man. You get up on Sunday morning or Saturday morning and go to these harlot houses, right, to worship Jesus Christos, Serapis Christus, an Edomite that lived during the 1400s, another Edomite that lived during the time of Ptolemy, right, who was over Egypt. You're worshiping an idol, man, okay? And they got you doing it under the 501c3 charter. Isaiah 5 and 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until nightfall till wine inflame them. Now, this ain't talking about drinking no liquor, man. Okay, that strong drink. It's talking about philosophies. And I'm going to prove it. This is Isaiah 29 and 9. Stay yourselves in wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Okay? It's the philosophy that you learn in the harlot house when you go to church on early Sunday morning. Or these pastors go to these theological seminars, okay, and learn their doctrine from the so-called white man. Okay? Under the 501c3 charter, man.